Twitter's
All right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast called Split Decision, brought to you from the Ruloff Family Inc. studios. Bueller, Dodge, and Dennis ready to break you off a little weight. That's not true at all. No, we got special guests in here today. Nick from MMA Pixels, almost said my MMA Pixels. Nick from MMA Pixels is here. Welcome.
Yep. What up?
Back again. And after a bit of a time away from us, Killer Kelly is back in the studio as well. Thank you for joining us, too.
It's good to be back.
Dennis is off camera, but he's here, too.
Hola.
Dodge is somewhere in Oregon sampling burgers and beers, and Josh is hiding under the ring to avoid USADA. All right, so we're going to jump into some news. We got all kinds of cool stuff to go over. Of course, this is Armageddon weekend when the world will cease to spin, and Conor and Floyd Mayweather will fight each other, and then who knows what will happen. It's going to be magical. But before we jump into that, from MyMMAnews.com, this is, like you said, that's a good point. This is not a rerun. This is history repeating itself. Jon Jones has tested positive once again. Do you remember, do you recall, either one of you recall what he tested positive for?
Turinabol for this time.
Turinabol. It's an anabolic steroid. It was an oral steroid.
Yep.
He's saying it's a tainted supplement, which we've heard time and time again. From many fighters.
So this is a supplement you put on your tank?
It is, yes. You put it right there.
Apparently.
You rub it in a clockwise motion.
Oh my gosh.
And so now, of course, you have Daniel Cormier has come out with a statement and said that he's upset about it, but all the fighters have their due process, and he wants to wait until everything comes out in the light before he says anything. Taking the high road, as Daniel Cormier does, which is great. But if you're Daniel Cormier, I mean, you got to be pretty upset about this.
Yeah, I mean, this is potentially his livelihood. People are talking about retirement after this. And,
yeah.
He obviously he didn't, but a lot of people thought.
He mentioned that he sees him and Jon Jones fighting again. At this point, it's not going to happen.
No.
But even before that, do you think that there would have been a third fight with them? Was there even a reason for it?
No.
No, I don't see it happening. Well, but, I mean, Rampage and Vandalay ended up, and I didn't see that happening. So.
No, that was a money fight. I don't know if DC and Jon Jones would be a money fight, especially at this point in time with all the incidents that Jon Jones has been through. Yeah. I mean, we had the DUI, we had the cocaine, we had the other car accident that he ran away from. We have Chael Sonnen coming out and saying that he hid from USADA underneath the cage at the gym for 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, and we truly don't even know what drugs were in the car accident, right?
No, because he disappeared.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, they couldn't test him because he went and hid for over 24 hours. So we don't know what, if any, drugs were involved. I mean, we're speculating at that point. But this is time and time again. This guy, his worst enemy is himself. Nobody can beat Jon Jones as far as being the GOAT, except for Jon Jones, and he's done that. Now we're looking at a 4-year suspension for the guy if they go for the max on him, which I couldn't imagine them not going for the max. Right. You kind of got to make an example out of somebody like that, in my opinion. You only get so many chances.
Do you think he'll be back, though? 4 years past, do you think the UFC should have him back? Or do you think the UFC's
if I'm Dana White, I'm washing my hands of it, because now you got a guy who fights for titles because he's title contendership ability, but then he pisses hot and he loses his title.
Yeah.
So he brings in all the money and then he pisses off his fans by doing something like this. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you can't let the greatest fighter of all time go to Bellator or go to PFL or go to ONE or go to any of those.
He gets out of his contract. He's overseas tomorrow fighting if he wanted.
That's why he's not going to get out of his contract.
Right,
I guarantee it.
Yeah, there's no way.
Because the money fight there is obviously you let Brock Lesnar and Jon Jones do as much TRT and steroids and like they could take stuff that's meant for horses and nobody gives a shit and go fight in Ryzen.
That's true.
And then it would just be like the biggest money fight ever in Japan.
Yeah. Sunday at Syringe Stadium.
Yeah. Everyone gets a free injection upon entry. So no, I think that they're going to keep him on his contract for as long as he's suspended, and then possibly cut him then. That's 4 years where you can't do anything. That's a lot of ring rust. I mean, you as a fighter, could you imagine being laid off for that long?
Yeah, if it happens 4 years, I don't think he'll really come back. It seems like if he's already going down this wrong path, I can't imagine 4 years of doing nothing, he might become worse. I don't really see him cleaning himself up if he has all this time to kill.
I agree. I completely agree with that because of all the time he had to clean himself up. And especially with the stuff that was going on in his personal life with his family and stuff, I really thought that might shake him out of it and maybe shock his system and put him on the right path. But, I mean, he proved time and time again that he's his own worst enemy, like we said earlier. And he's out. Jon Jones, no more title for you. Does DC come back and just get the title? Or does he have to fight somebody else?
I saw Dana White said that he'll get the title.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that.
All right.
Yeah, I'd heard through the grapevine that he wants somebody else to fight for the belt and then him come get it so that he don't get this whole paper champion thing.
I think that's smart on his part.
So who do you think he fights then?
I don't know who gets the belt now. So who fights for the belt?
Gustafson's number one.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Was Gus? I would watch that.
So which two people fight for the belt, and then he comes and fights him for it?
Kane drops down to 205 so we can stop getting hurt at heavyweight, right? And then he fights Gus for the belt. And then DC comes in. We'll see what happens. But that's the big story this week, of course. And then moving on from there, if you haven't heard the news yet, Beck Rawlings is dropping down in weight to fight Joanne Calderwood down in Sydney, Australia, right? This fight's happening at 125, and it's going down at UFC Fight Night 121, I believe. I don't know. I can't.
Right in Sydney, I think.
Can't read any of this stuff,
that's the one that Mark.
I'm afraid to click on anything on this computer.
Stop it. There's nothing on there. That's the fight that Mark Hunt's going to headline.
Mark Hunt, who had a lot of strong words to say about John Jones. He's, of course, he's really upset with anybody who tests positive in mixed martial arts right now, except for Junior Dos Santos, who we know got popped recently as well. He said that he's willing to give JDS a pass until everything comes to light, but he's super mad at John Jones. Yeah.
You got a track record.
He's got a track record. What are you going to do?
I recommend 48 hours rehab.
48 hours. Well, 24 didn't work.
24 didn't work.
We thought it did because he's Superman, but maybe we'll do 48 this time around. And from there, we can jump into the Dana White's Tuesday Night Fights Contender Series. This week, we of course, Tuesday passed, which means that we had fights. Nick, how'd your picks go this week?
I went 3 for 5 this week. Benito Lopez, local boy, he ended up getting the contract. He fought a zombie out there. The guy, Steven Peterson, he gave everything he had. 3 rounds, and the guy just kept coming forward. He ended up winning the contract. And then also Joby Sanchez, his second time on the show, he got the contract. He's been
on 2 times just in the short period of time?
Yeah,
wow,
yeah. He fought, I think, week 2 and then week 7. And he's the third guy he's the second guy to come on again. And then there's another guy coming on next week. But he took on JP Buys. Shout out to all the people on my Instagram saying that he was going to win. I still love you guys. But yeah, so
if you want to follow his Instagram, it's MMA Pixels. Just look that up and you'll find it. Lots of fun stuff on there. And we're heading into week 8 now of Dana White's Tuesday Night Fight Contender Series. And the whole reason that Killer Kelly's in the studio, you haven't been in here since you've been married. So
No.
it's not still Killer Kelly McGill then?
No, it's Velasco.
Is it McGill Velasco or just Velasco?
Fighting-wise, I'm going McGill Velasco, but legally it's Velasco.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations, of
Thank
course.
you.
We've had you and your husband, Rolando, in here multiple times. And so he wasn't whistling at the wedding through his nose. Everything was cool?
No, his nose is good. He's good.
Got everything fixed beforehand, of course. And you're fighting this Tuesday.
Yep.
Which is
today.
super exciting. Leaving today after the show is over to fight for Dana White's Tuesday Night Fights Contender Series. I mean, what is that like? How does that feel?
It feels good, especially coming off of like a year off and also coming off of a loss. I wasn't expecting this call at all. So when I got the call, I was excited because I was already training for Invicta 25.
Oh, wow.
So I was already in training camp. So I was like, yeah, sure. It's just a different opponent, and it's only 2 days earlier. Like, it's not like a crazy big jump. And I knew for about 5 weeks, so I've had a pretty good keep.
Oh, nice.
And stuff
Okay.
like that. So yeah, I'm excited. I flew out there, saw the Performance Training Center. It's awesome. Like, it's really cool.
It looks awesome. Very
It's really cool.
So what's that like? Talk us through the motions of getting a call from, I mean, it's Dana White's Tuesday Night Fights Contender Series, but at the same time, it's still an extension of the UFC. So what's it like getting a call from the UFC?
I got a call from Iridium Sports Agency, and they told me, hey, we have this opportunity. If you want to take it, sign with us, and you got the opportunity. So, of course, I jumped on it.
Did they call you directly, or did they call your manager?
I didn't have a manager at the time. My dad was helping me out. So,
Okay.
Iridium Sports manages Rolando, so they know who I am and stuff like that. So they were like, hey, if you sign with us, we'll give you this opportunity as well. So I signed with for the Tuesday Night Contender Series and also with Iridium the same day. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so this is going down on Tuesday night live in Las Vegas. I thought it was a week tape delay, but it's not. It actually is happening live.
It's live.
It's on Fight Pass. If you have Fight Pass, you can watch. Like we've already had several local people fight. If you haven't been watching it, then get Fight Pass so you can watch it. And your opponent, you said that you were training for Invicta, but then you switched to this, so you switched opponents, and now the Tuesday Night Fight Contender Series has switched opponents on you.
Yeah, so this is my third opponent I've trained for in the span of like 10 weeks. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, first I was training for a Taekwondo girl, then I was training for more of like a striker, and now I'm training for more of like a brawler. So they're all kind of different, but they have similarities as well.
And do you feel that this switch in opponent kind of benefits you a little bit more than your previous opponent, or even the one that was in Invicta?
I don't really think it's much of a difference. I mean, I never really got to see these girls fight, really, especially this opponent, her footage is kind of MIA, so yeah, you don't really see much. The other girl,
I heard she's got a Tai Bo video, though. Can we put that up there?
No, we don't. I couldn't even find it.
Exactly.
Zumba?
It's
I think it's Zumba. It might be Zumba. I don't know.
And then the previous opponent, she was from Australia, so you never really know how good they are compared to American fighters and stuff. So it's hard to tell where these girls are at.
Well, you know, they're in Australia, except for Mark Hunt.
Did you sign off on this picture?
Which picture?
The picture for the Contender Series is like a whatever face.
I didn't sign off. They didn't show me any pictures this week.
They got it from somewhere.
Yeah, well, they took a bunch of pictures, a bunch of videos, and everything.
Just pissed off at the world. Is
They
that what it
found
is?
like the one where I decided not to smile out of all of them.
Show me your war face.
Yeah.
There we go. We'll put her the whatever face next to
Go there.
the happy face.
This smiley face that we always get here in the studio.
Before and after.
Well, that's awesome. And so you're flying out tonight. You already flew out there once for your promos and everything.
Yeah, we flew out there about 2 weeks ago. Just real quick trip, in and out. Just did videos, interviews, all that good stuff. And then flying back. We're actually leaving tomorrow morning, but we're going to SAC today because I'm going to do some cryotherapy and also some sensory deprivation tank and stuff and just get like mentally ready and then fly out in the morning.
Cool. When they fly you out there for promos and stuff, is it kind of weird to get put in front of a bunch of cameras and being told like what to do, what to say, and all that kind of stuff?
It's not much different because Invicta did that as well.
Okay.
So I was kind of used to it, except for theirs was at a training facility instead of like a green screen. So we actually had to like go around and do different stuff. So
This is real. Cool. This is a real studio. We rebuilt it from last week. It's completely different. And cryotherapy, when you do the sensory deprivation, how long do you go in for?
The sensory deprivation is an hour.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And that's,
like an hour
pitch
bath.
black in the water?
Yeah, you can't see anything, feel
Nope.
anything, hear anything, nothing.
Nope.
You can leave the door open if you're afraid of the dark. I do.
So then how's that sensory deprivation?
I leave it cracked just a little bit.
Does anybody ever like?
There's a nightlight.
Does your husband sneak in there and go, Kelly?
No, but last time I did it in Sac. We were doing it in Santa Cruz, and we were the only ones there, and you're in completely different tanks, like different rooms. And I swear I heard somebody's voice outside my thing, and it was right after I decided to close the door completely. So I opened the door, and there's nobody there. And I was
Exactly.
like, what's going on?
That's when you hear somebody going, they all float down here. So that's this Tuesday. Again, Fight Pass. If you have it, check it out. Local fighters fighting there. It's pretty fantastic. Obviously, we wish you the best of luck. We want to see
Thank
you
you.
walk
So
with
what's your picks for this
I was
week?
going to say, MMA Pixels does picks every week for the Contender Series.
Yeah.
Obviously, we picked Kelly to win.
That's a true statement. I like to not make my picks until the day, like the weigh-ins, let them weigh in first. Usually I do that, but Matt Frivola, he's another one to look out for. He's from Titan FC. He's a 8-0 amateur and then 5-0 as a pro. He's got some talent.
So keep an eye out this for Matt, right? You said Matt?
Yeah, Matt.
And of course,
Frivola.
Kelly. And you're fighting at 135. I forgot to mention that.
Yep, 135.
135. We were discussing this before the show. Your amateur fights were at 125, but since going pro, you've moved up to 135.
Yes, I have.
And the weight cut's going good?
Going good so far.
No, you're supposed to say it's going horrible. I'm hurting. I'm tired. I'm shaky. I'm hungry.
No.
All I want is a giant bacon burger.
No, I really want some ice cream. That's like the only craving I have, but I'll wait.
What kind of ice cream?
There's this place in Escalon called the Big Dipper, and they have like a Cookie Monster ice cream, but they only sell it on Mondays. It's their special.
Only on Mondays.
Only Mondays.
man.
And I don't come back till Wednesday, so I gotta wait.
Oh, that's a long wait.
Yeah.
Is it like, does it take a week to make or something?
I don't know why.
Does it get delivered by the Cookie Monster?
I have no clue.
You're gonna get some Dippin' Dots. It's gonna be that's gonna be your consolation prize.
Right.
And so, is your newlywed coming with you out there?
Yeah, he's going with me tomorrow.
All right. Very
Yeah,
cool.
do you get to take a whole corner with you, or?
So they pay for one cornerman, and then you're allowed 3, so you have to pay for 2 other travel men. So I'm just paying for Professor Tom's way out there, and then my manager, Jason House, will also be out there, too.
Awesome.
Making the other two drive.
Jason? I think they're already out there because they're managing a bunch of people.
Oh, okay. All right. So super cool. This Tuesday, Dana White's Tuesday Night Fight Contender Series. Moving on from there, if you haven't heard the news, Brian Stann has actually voluntarily retired from announcing ringside for the UFC. No ill will there. He just wants to move on and go back to school, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, he sees the end coming.
It's the end.
He's got a Bellator opportunity too, I'm sure.
Once Connor
The
loses,
one? Yeah.
Yeah.
once Connor loses, the UFC is going to fold up.
It's completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a paper airplane. Just
Yep.
gone. Is he going to go into selling weed with Rumble Johnson?
No, just the real estate to grow the weed on.
Well, that's true.
Selling Rumble Johnson his land for the dispensary. It's a racket. But great announcer. He did a great job for the UFC. Kind of bummed to see him go. He was a great champion, too. A long time ago when he debuted, he didn't debut, but when he fought Rhino in the WEC,
yeah.
and knocked Rhino the fuck out. It was one of those ones where I rarely get it right, but I got that one right, and I called that one. I felt pretty proud of myself. So, Stan, big thanks for everything you've done, and best of luck in the future. We have Bellator Bristol that went down last week. If you missed it, well, we got a recap for you real quick. It was the 4-fight card that happened at, where's it, in Daytona?
It looks like it happened in somebody's backyard.
Well, I mean, if it was in Tennessee. It was in Bristol, Tennessee.
It was in the middle of the track, right?
Guarantee, yeah, it was in somebody's backyard. It was in Bristol, Tennessee.
No, it was in the middle of the track at the race.
And so we had, start at the bottom here. Preston Schick got a win over Aha Mai with a TKO. Jonathan Pierce wins with the submission over Demir Fahubagats with a rear naked choke. Nick Gertz over Ken Beverly got a Darce choke at 2:01 of the third round. Don't see a lot of those. And Brandon Bell over Ben Sargent with unanimous decision. And that's how that all went down. You got any notes from that?
No,
You seem to pay more attention than I do. I don't pay attention to shit. Did you watch it?
I honestly don't really watch
You've been
fights.
focused on training. Yeah. We've talked to you and Rolando. I keep saying Rolando about this.
Yeah, I don't watch fights.
Yeah, you guys don't watch fights at all, but you do fight. You don't, but you watch tape on your opponents.
I do. I mean, he watches a lot more fights than I do. If I'm at the gym all day, the last thing I want to do is go home and watch more fights. So
I just go home and beat up my kids. It's a lie. They beat me up. One of them chokes me, the other one ankle locks me. And then we have Titan FC as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that one to you.
Yeah, Titan FC 45 took place last Friday. It's an organization out of Florida. And to be honest, this is the first show I watched live. I just kept seeing them on the Contender series, Titan FC, these guys coming up and doing well. Kurt Hollabaugh, he's from there. Jay-Z Calavante, Dan Ige, Diego Lima, you may have heard of him.
Maybe
Top
just a little
25
bit, yeah.
Finalist, yeah. So I watched the show on Friday, and man, it was amazing. I think the first 5 didn't even get out of the first round. It was awesome. The talent level there is top notch.
It's a good promotion. They've been around for a little bit. They kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think Eric and my MMA News, they push him a lot.
Yeah, it's available on Fight Pass. I got Fight Pass for the Contender series. I'm going to keep it for Titan, that's for sure.
That's a nice plug for Titan. Also, over the weekend, right here in the Central Valley at the Stockton Civic Auditorium, we had 209 Beatdown 3 go down. You got to attend that?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was my first live show as far as media coverage. I was able to catch a few interviews before, meet some guys. Nick Maximoff, Kyrie Snowden from Modesto. He ended up winning the featherweight title. That was awesome over Kai Wu. And then Chris Burton was there as well. He ended up losing his 45 title, but he will be moving on to be pro.
That was his final amateur fight. That's right. Now
Yeah.
he got picked up by the big leagues. Anybody from your gym fighting in any of these local ones, like 209 Beatdown 3?
No.
No?
Are they here in Modesto?
209 Beatdown was in Stockton.
Yeah, it was Stockton
They had
last
people
Friday.
from all over the valley, including Nick Maximoff, like you said, who was supposed to be on the show for an interview. Justin, tell your son to come down here, please.
Right. I think the next fight for any of your, other than you, is Merced.
Asthmatic Production.
Asthmatic, yeah. And we'll be pushing that the closer that it gets. I think in the next 2 weeks we're going to be pushing a lot more of
Yeah,
that.
it's
Okay.
September 9th.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody else from your gym have any fights coming up?
Rolando should be fighting November 2nd, hopefully.
Okay.
Looking for an opponent at Tachi.
Tachi?
He
Yeah.
is going to fight after they fixed his face?
Yeah. Well, he didn't. He just got it cleared up. It's not fixed. It's still super flat, but he can breathe.
Is he going to wear the Steve Nash face mask?
Man.
And moving on from there, Bellator 162 is going down.
82.
Sorry, 82? I can't read your handwriting. Does that look like it's 60 to anybody
I'm
else?
sorry, it's 182.
Oh, that's
It's
definitely.
right in front of you is
that's definitely
182.
a 6,
I was
though.
going off of the I was going off the whiteboard, man. Lots of fights. This is happening tonight, so if you get an opportunity to turn on, is it on Spike? I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's on Spike.
It's on Spike.
That's
Tape
good.
delay again.
If you get a chance, then turn it on. I'm not going to go through all these. Is there anything specifically you want to hit?
There's 18 fights tonight.
Exactly.
I wrote down the top 4 of the card. I got
All the
Ellen.
prelims are on Spike.com. Only the last 4 are on Spike TV. So just keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
I got Ellen, AJ McKee. I like watching him. I believe he's 8-0. He's exciting to watch. And then Gonzalez. Last fight I saw him in San Jose at Bellator. He fought Michael Page. I was there live. It was the worst fight ever. The worst fight ever. And actually, one of the judges gave it to Gonzalez. He clearly didn't win, but I think he was just pissed off at Page.
MVP, yeah.
And then for the main event, I got Korshkov.
Okay, and there you go. That's like we said, that's going down tonight. And then obviously the big news, Armageddon going down this weekend. The fight that I can't wait to be over with.
Yeah, some people are fighting for this fake belt. Well, I guess not a fake belt.
Yeah,
I mean it's still a real belt. It just doesn't mean anything.
3,300 diamonds.
Yeah.
600 sapphires.
Who paid for this belt?
A crocodile had to die for this.
A crocodile died for this belt.
Everybody who bought this.
Judah Elizabeth.
I didn't buy this. I did not drink the Kool-Aid on this fucking thing. If you drink the Kool-Aid on it,
I'm not going to watch it. Well, I might watch it because I'll be in Vegas. But
It'll be at the performance.
That's a good point.
I'm not buying it.
You just go stand outside the T-Mobile Center. They put it up on the big screen or something.
Yeah, it'll probably be streaming on every phone that you walk by.
Yeah.
Probably. So obviously we're talking about Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather for the Ghost Belt champion.
McGill Cotto versus...
Yeah, we have plenty of undercard fights that are happening that are actually really...
We are not going to talk about boxing.
If you're a boxing fan, this is what I've been told. Okay, I've been talking to boxing analysts and stuff like that. Like even boxing analysts think this main event is a pile of shit. But they are saying that if you are a boxing fan and you enjoy the sweet science, then the undercard is definitely worth seeing.
Oh yeah, you got 7 cards of really top-notch fighters.
Some top-notch fighters, and you got belts on the line as well. So the undercard before Conor and Floyd take the stage is really a decent card if you're a boxing fan. Or if you're just getting into boxing, it's something worth checking out. Now, if you drink the Kool-Aid and you're going to watch the main event of Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, I don't know what to tell you. We can discuss this because you drank the Kool-Aid, you bought it. There's lots of people like I'm seeing. I don't. Have you seen the Great White Hype? You're young. I don't know if you've ever seen the Great White Hype. You've seen it.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about with Damon Wayans in it and Samuel Jackson and Jeff Goldblum. I mean, I'm seeing this happen in real life. It's the blueprint for what's happening. It's insane. How many people are like mad at me because I think that Conor's going to lose? I've been called every name in the book, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, once Monday rolls around, I'm not betting on this fight because we all know that when I bet, bad things happen. So I'm just putting it out there. This fight is silly. It's a spectacle. It's a money grab. And that's really, honest to God, how I feel about it.
But if he knocks him out,
and that's the reason that
what do we do? What do we do?
This is also what I said on my other show this week, is the whole reason that I bought Powerball tickets on Wednesday is because there's a chance. Right? That's why I spent $20 on Powerball tickets. I didn't win, but some chick in the fucking Midwest walked away with $758 million. Like, did anybody think that was going to happen? Everybody wanted it to happen to him. Yeah. Nobody really thought it was going to happen to him. Right. Just like a lot of people want Conor to win tomorrow night, but nobody really in the pit of their stomach. Do you really think it's going to happen?
No, there's people that truly believe.
Yeah, but they're Tarzan. You know, they're swinging from Conor's nuts. That doesn't count.
Why you got to bring up Terrell?
That's right. Duchess is Jane. So Tarzan and Jane. But I mean, really, in the pit of your stomach, in the heart of all hearts, do you really think that Conor's going to win this fight? If you do, you should go see somebody.
So how does Conor lose?
Serious.
He can't handle the body shots. There's no way he can.
I think if Conor loses, I'm going to go ahead and say if Conor loses, Conor gasses. By the time he goes into the 5th round, he's going to be exhausted. And I think that's when Floyd is going to pick it up and take advantage of him. I'm not a boxing analyst. I don't watch boxing. I don't know a lot about boxing. I bought the Floyd Pacquiao fight because of all the hype that was behind that, and I was bored out of my goddamn mind.
Boss Rutan says that 12 rounds of fighting is not even equivalent to a 3-round MMA fight. That's coming from Boss Rutan.
That's fine, and it's not a 3-round MMA fight. It's a 3-round boxing fight, and that's what I tried to explain to other people. Is like you're taking all of fighting and then you're putting it all in one little strike zone, and that's all Conor can focus on. And I've had people tell me, specifically, once Conor realizes he doesn't have to worry about a takedown, then he can start stepping into his punches because he knows Floyd's not going to take him down. The flip side of that coin is now Conor's got to think, shit, I can't throw an elbow. Shit, I can't throw a knee. Shit, I can't shoot for a takedown. Shit, I can't throw a kick here. He's got to think about all that when he sees an opening. Like if this was an MMA fight, I can kick. Oh wait, but I can't do that. So he's got to check himself on so many different angles that he can no longer use. And obviously he's been practicing for that. But once you get kicked into autopilot and you're used to throwing kicks and you're used to throwing elbows and you're used to throwing all these other things that you can't throw anymore, you have to consciously tell yourself, shit, I can't do that now.
And I think it's Chin's subject because Nate got him with the 5-6 pitter pats. Mm-hmm. You know, we talked about that when Gene was in here. He got him with like tap, 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 boom, tap, 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 boom. Yeah. And I just don't. Mayweather don't hit hard, but every one of his punches got some snap to it. So if he gets hit with a 4-5 or a 5-6, with those taps, I really don't know if McGregor can take him. And then, like he said, the body shots.
Yeah, the only way McGregor's going to win is he's just got to walk him down. He's got to be a bully like Tyson. Just go in there and then start swinging it and can't let any time go by.
But he's got to finish it in the first couple rounds.
Yeah, but bullying him, he's going to risk the DQ. Because especially if he starts shoving him. If he starts shoving him with his hands, and God forbid he brings up a knee. I mean, like since you've been fighting in MMA, I mean, how, like sometimes in the clinch, I mean, do you just feel yourself just bring your knee up?
It's almost like it's your natural reaction at that point.
Yeah, not to be cliche, it's knee-jerk. It's a knee-jerk reaction,
100%. And that's what I think is going to be the biggest enemy for Conor McGregor in this fight.
But he gives up 90% of the money if that happens.
And that sucks for him.
But you I
don't feel bad about that. I know. You know what Conor's doing. He's got a kid. He wants to make some money, and why not? He talked himself into this fight.
Right. He's already won.
Yeah. He talked himself into the biggest fight of his life, the biggest fight that we've seen in a long time. Somebody was asking me earlier, "Do you think this is the biggest fight we've seen in a while?" Like, for certain reasons, yes. For realistic. If you're a purist of either sport, then no, it's absolutely not. Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather was the biggest sport for a long time in boxing, and we've had some of those in mixed martial arts as well. But if you just like events and stuff like that, then yeah, of course, obviously it's huge. But it's a bad matchup for Conor all the way around. Sure, he's bigger. Sure, he's younger. He can go in and bully, like you said. And he's going to go in and he's going to swing hard. He's going to gas himself out like he did against Nate in their second fight, which is why one of the judges gave Nate one of the round or two of the rounds or something like that, because Conor was gassed.
Right.
And if he does that again, and he can land all he wants, but if Floyd's doing his patented shoulder roll and he's got his patented stance where I don't even know how he does it.
Yeah, what do you call that? The Philly shell.
Yeah, well, that don't work with southpaws, though.
But it worked fine. What was it? Zapata?
Oh, it worked against Zab Judah.
Judah, that's who it was. Judah got him for 4 rounds.
I've had to go and watch boxing. That's how bad this has been.
Yeah.
I've had to go watch boxing.
Yeah,
fights.
and Judah got him for the first couple rounds.
Like tens of minutes of my life.
Judah got him for the first couple rounds, but then Floyd figured him out, came back, and bloodied the shit out of him by the end of that fight.
Okay, now this argument I had with boxers. I've been talking to guys from Modesto Boxing Gym. Okay, so are you really losing a round when you're basically downloading what's going on? He's not losing. He's figuring out what this guy does from rounds 1 to 3.
He might. I would be surprised if Conor wins more than one round of this fight. To be perfectly honest, but yes, it's possible that he will win a round. And if Floyd does that and he decides, this guy can't hurt me, I'm going to figure out his game plan, he might give up 3 rounds. It's fine. Then he still wins 9-3. It's not a big deal.
Right.
That doesn't hurt his chances. Or like I said, Conor gasses out, and then by the time round 9 rolls around, he can't do anymore, and then we get the no mas.
Yeah,
no mas can't continue to fight again. I can.
If he didn't get off the stool,
I can't. I actually can't imagine that. I mean, I can see it. I can just see him sitting on his stool in between rounds, going, "I just got whatever $300 million or however much money he's making. I have no idea. I got $300 million. I can just quit right now. I can go home and I can take a nap." If somebody told that to me and was like, your pride, but you have $300 million, you know what? I can be bought. I'm cheap. I'm not even worried about that, because at that point in time, a pillow sounds really fucking good. If you're in a fight that you're not even supposed to win, you're doing it because you're getting paid, and then all of a sudden somebody's dangling the Cookie Monster ice cream in front of you, along with $300 million, you're going to be like, fuck it, I don't care. Pride be damned. Pride doesn't buy me ice cream. So. That's me, though. Not everybody's like me. That's just where
nobody's like you.
So I guess, when it comes down to it this weekend, it's going to be one of the biggest things on TV. You're not going to be able to go anywhere without hearing about it. On Sunday, water will still be wet, the world will still be spinning, the sky will still be blue, and in my opinion, Conor will be the loser of this fight. But in the spirit of the show, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I don't see it even making it out of the 6th round. I think Floyd finishes him.
In 6 rounds?
Yep.
And he still paid for it?
Yeah, I think the body shots, his gas tank is obviously suspect, but he spent a lot of money. He's invested a lot of money in himself, and he's gotten a lot better since watching him come up since he's earned money. McGregor,
yeah,
but he's not on Mayweather's level.
You can't learn that in 3 months.
I don't think so either. Kelly, what do you think?
I hope Conor wins. I really
I
want
for
him to
MMA.
win. Yes,
for
it'll
MMA.
be so good for MMA, because if he's got this huge pay increase, he's going to go back to the UFC. They're going to have to match that.
No, if he wins, he will never come back to the UFC.
I think he will, though. I think he will.
There's no money in the UFC. It just proves that there's no money in the UFC, that an MMA fighter had to go to boxing to make money.
I kind of agree with that. I see Conor because he's talking about a December title defense. I don't see it happening if he wins.
And
I don't think any time like this year at all.
No.
Definitely not.
and you see the difference. Do you see what Mayweather looks like as being a 49-0 champion?
Yeah.
And what Randy Couture looks like at like a 47-6 champion? His ears are cauliflowered.
But
He's
even
got
if-
massive scar tissue.
Yeah, even if Conor doesn't come back, maybe MMA fighters are going to threaten to go to boxing if the UFC doesn't pay them well. You know?
Oh, I see a lot. I see a lot more. If Conor wins, I see a lot more fighters trying to box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll see the return of the Diaz
Yeah.
brothers in a boxing ring for
And
sure.
I also
That'd be
see a lot of boxers
Trying MMA.
trying MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good for MMA if
Oh.
Conor wins, but I don't think he's going to win.
So you want him to win?
I want him
but
to
you
win,
don't think
but
he's
I
gonna
don't
win.
think he's going to
Her
win.
heart is with Conor.
Yeah.
Her money is with Mayweather.
My heart's always with MMA, but I don't like this matchup, and I never wanted this matchup to happen. I didn't want James Toney to come over and fight Randy Couture when that happened.
What do you think about the people that are saying that Mayweather's going to throw it so they can have a second and make more money? Do you
I
think
think
that's...
the one thing that's more important to Mayweather than money is pride.
Yeah.
You know, I would say, oh, that's a felony, but
It's not like he hasn't faced those before.
so I don't know.
Who has it better than Mayweather in prison? Nobody.
Capone.
Capone, true. Not saying that that's what's happening. I really hope that's not what happens. But then that's the thing too, is that what I see happening Monday when everybody gets back to work and everybody's having these discussions, Conor wins, it's a fix. Everybody, it's a fix. It's a
Yeah.
fix. It's a fix. Except unless you were rooting for Conor to begin with, then it's I told you so. Then it's I told you so. But that you're gonna get the I told you so's, and you're gonna get the nut huggers and the Tarzans and the Janes. If Conor even lands like a solid punch down the pipe.
Oh, if this
So
even
it's
goes
gonna-
12, if this
Oh.
goes 12, it's going to be a big thing for MMA.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Conor went 12 rounds with a guy who goes 12 rounds all the time.
Right.
But that says something. But whatever. I'll back off.
Yeah.
I'll back off.
Yeah.
We also found out this week that Paulie, the guy who was at Conor's gym for 2 days, that was bullied around by Conor, supposedly, so what the video shows, was apparently sent over there by Floyd.
Hey, they released another 3.5 seconds today
Did they?
of him eating a jab.
Yeah. If you, this is such Great White. Go watch Great White Hype. That's your homework.
Yeah.
This weekend before the fight happens. Go watch Great White Hype, and then you'd be like, the parallels that you can draw are absolutely
Right.
ridiculous.
Right.
So that's it. It's happening this weekend. That's our picks, really.
Yeah.
I think.
Kelly's Big Fight Tuesday.
Make sure you get Fight Pass, tune in, and support
You going to knock her
local
out?
fighters.
I want a submission, but I
You
won't
want
be...
to submit her?
See, I want a submission just for my own, but in order to impress Dana White, I know you have
I want
to
it
get
to
a
be bloody.
knockout.
I want it to be bloody again.
You want to?
I do too, but I do want a submission.
Two things that'll guarantee you a contract.
A knockout and
Well,
blood.
a flying knee
Yeah.
or a flying armbar. You're a peacock. You got to fly. Make it happen. Well, best of luck to you, of
Thank
course.
you.
We'll be watching on Fight Pass, as you should be too. Thanks to MMA Pixels for being in here.
Thanks, guys.
Killer Kelly, thanks for being in here as well.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you find us on Facebook at Split Decision MMA Podcast, on Twitter and Instagram at SD_MMA, as well as our website, splitdecisionmma.com. Check out our sponsors, mymmanews.com. They do this 24/7. We do it once a week, so if you need something breaking, they'll get you covered. And, of course, Dependable Solutions. Innovate your business. Dependable Solutions. I think that's it.
That's it.
That's it. So until next time, from the Rulai Family Inc. Studios, have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.